guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am joined by my good friend Skratch AK47. Skratch, welcome back to the channel. This is collab number 3?
What's up, Ash? I think it's around collab 3, 4, something like that. Glad to be here again, buddy. Thanks for having me. Hello,
we love having
everybody.
you on, man. We love having you on. It's always nice to get another perspective and opinion on these champions. And today we're going to talk about the best nukers in the game. And I can't wait to hear your opinions. We're going to judge it on AoE nukers, so single target damage dealers will not appear on this list. We're straight up just going to go through every single faction in the game and pick our favorite nuker. That's it. You know, and we went through our list quickly together off air to make sure we had no duplicates. There were a couple, but we were able to choose our second favorite, you know, and we'll mention those as we go through. Oh, by the way, we just collabed on Skratch channel as well. Go ahead and check that video out after this one is over. It will be in the description below. Skratch, let's start out with, you know what? Let's do a curveball, man. Let's start out with Shadowkin.
Shadowkin, let's go.
Three up. We're gonna start at the bottom.
The bottom.
All right, man.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. I'm gonna go with Konoru, right? We don't have many options here at AoE, but I feel like her A3 is not bad at all. Removes all increased defense buffs from all enemies, then attacks all enemies. I feel like it's a pretty badass skill. She looks awesome. Like, she was my favorite out of the new faction when they released it. Look-wise, she's just badass.
Yeah, do you have her? Did you max her? She has a high base attack too.
Yeah, I did max her on the test server, not on my main account.
Yeah, and so she hit pretty hard.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, pretty decent.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go with who I really want to go with is Aboro. I don't have her, but I heard she hits like an absolute monster in terms of damage output. But she doesn't have an AoE, I don't think. So we will go with Sachi. Sachi, because of the A1 and AoE decreased accuracy. I have not maxed her out. I own her, Skratch. I'm not sure if you have played her, but a lot of my people in my comments saying that they were actually surprised on how much they like this champion. So I'm going to go with my viewers on this one.
Sachi, I can totally agree on it. She just has so much stuff in her kit. I feel like she's a very, very strong champion.
Very, very cool like her a lot. Too. So we actually snubbed all the legendaries here, huh?
Pretty much, like, we don't really have options on AoE nukers just yet.
Yeah,
even though they said the faction will be based on damage attackers, it doesn't really feel like, you know, like they're not bringing up that much to the game.
Yeah,
damage wise.
Yeah, and we actually talked about this on your channel, but we're not a big fan of Genzin, neither of us. So
not really.
Sorry, Genzin. All right. Next up is going to be Dwarves, man. We're starting with the easy factions because there's not that many choices. Who's going to be your best nuker here?
So you went with the main one. I'm going to go with Tormin here. So I like Tormin. How I said before, he can deal damage. Tons of damage, actually, if you build him with high defense, full crit rate, full crit damage. The A3 hits hard as well. Like, if you give him a defense up, right, and the enemy team has defense down, most probably the enemy team is gone, and unless he's a Duchess, a very tanky Duchess in the team. And the A2 hits super hard as well. Of course, that's only a single target, but going from the AoE to the A2 is definitely gonna clear up whatever is left from the enemy team, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely, Tormin strong champion.
I really love, because I was like, you know, when we decided I was going to go Trunda, we're like, who else is there to choose from? And you're like, actually, Tormin. So I love that you mentioned that too. And I mean, how annoying must that be? Have you used him on like on a nuke team in the arena for damage? Because you're freezing and damaging? That's amazing.
Yeah, so I actually built him like months ago on a Swift Parry set, full damage, and 200 plus accuracy just to freeze their nuker. And man, he was painful.
Skratch, I hate you, man. I would never want to go up against that in the arena, man. But that's a really good idea, though. That's a really fun idea. I might do it. I'm gonna go Trunda. She's the best nuker in the game. She has an insane multiplier on her A2. However, it does go down because it's 60% on the second hit. But it's really about her forge rhythm, her A3, one of the hardest hitting abilities, and it can hit 2 times if you're not landing that stun. So very, 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 very good nuker. And we talked about this again, not to steal all the thunder from your video, but we both kind of shared that we don't think she needs a nerf either. We think there needs to be more Trundas out there.
Absolutely, yeah. I totally agree on it, man. Like,
best legs in the game too, huh?
Oh yes. But I'm a bit scared of her, you know. I'll be like, you know, I'll stay away from her rather than get too close, you know.
Absolutely. All right, so moving right on to Knight's Revenant. So Knight's Revenant, I skipped right down through all the legendaries on my screen because The legendary Nukers kind of suck for Nice Revenant. It's all about the epics. So you can go ahead and go first again. Who's your choice going to be?
So my choice here will be Hegemon. Actually, the A2 hits so hard.
The legendary Nukers kind of suck.
He can nuke teams as well without having a attack up or defense down if you build him only for that. And just that passive giving him the turn first, no matter what speed he has. Crit rate aura as well. Like, he's just such a beast. Can farm a Nightmare campaign as well. He's awesome. He hits so hard, actually.
Yeah, I didn't even think of the Nukemon build, and I should have, because how many times have I gotten destroyed by like 2 Hegemons, both built out Nuke in the arena? Like, oh, okay, so that's what you're doing. Okay, cool.
Surprise, yeah.
Yeah, I think the very first time that it happened to me, back in the day or whatever, it was just like, oh, okay, so I don't, immunity set's not going to help me, huh? I'm just going to die. All right, I'm going to go with Skull Crown. I think the Skull Crown is like the quintessential AoE Nuker Skratch, right? She's got the AoE on the A1, the AoE on the A2, and that's all. That's all, and the unkillable and everything like that. But she has the weaken, 2 hard-hitting AoE attacks. Just a big fan. Obviously, people use her in the arena, but she's incredibly good elsewhere as well. Spider, Faction Wars. I use her in a stun set because all she has is AoE. In Faction Wars, she helped me out a great deal.
I was gonna say, like, she rocks on stun sets for PV content, guys. Speed aura for arena. Like, if you get her early on, man, you sorted. Like, she hits so hard. She's so unique as well. Paired with her sister, only the A1s, they deal so much damage. Not to bring in the A2 she has as well, and the weaken on it as well. If you choose by any chance to go with a bit of accuracy on her, she's a beast, Skull Crown. I love Skull Crown. She used to be my farmer, arena nuker, like, all around. She's just so much fun to use.
Completely agree. All right, moving right along here to Dark Elves. I'll go first on this one. Some real good choices. We decided off air that we cannot include Cold Heart because most of her damage comes from the A3, so we're not going to call her a AoE nuker, traditionally speaking. So instead, I'm going to go with Foley. Foley is meta because, you can't block revival, right? And that's so important. And he has hard multipliers. He's fast too. He has great base stats across the board pretty much. So Foley's just a really, really good nuker after being just kind of I don't want to say forgotten, but just kind of a champion that people slept on for a long time, I felt like. And then all of a sudden, boom, he's arena meta.
Yeah, he was definitely a sleeper, honestly, till they took him out a bit and give him a bit of a buff. Design-wise, he looked so badass,
super
honestly.
Cool,
like,
yeah. Wasn't he based on somebody? Isn't he designed after somebody or something?
Something with a Russian
creator?
Create
and
like
the
that.
Russian creators get all the champions designed after them, Skratch.
I know, man. Like, what are our champions in game,
All right. Who's your choice, man?
So I'll have to be unconventional here and leave the 2 legendaries out. Like, I'll leave Ray and Xavier out of here just because everybody gets Kael and he's so much fun, and people forget that if you're in endgame, Kael is viable. Kael, he can wreck Platinum Arena, he can wreck any defense out there if you have him built with the gear you would give to Foley, you would give to Tranda. He's a beast of a champion, guys. Like, he has pretty badass multipliers on the A2. You gotta check it out. Like, just Kael is a beast, man. Like, hands down. I love Kael.
I love that you chose Kael there because, think about it. And not only is he endgame viable, but everybody starts with this dude, and the fact that he's that good to start out with, it's one of the best things about Raid Shadow Legends, is it not? So, good choice.
Absolutely. The most popular thing in Raid Shadow Legends, I think, is Kael.
Absolutely. I think I agree. Like, he's always the number one. 120,000 reviews right now on Kael, even though I'm blocking it. So good choice there. Undead Horde. You want to go first on this one?
Undead Horde. I'll have to go with Mashalet here, honestly. Okay. I feel like I left him out before, but he is a very powerful champion. Like, once he lands his debuffs, wrecking all the enemy teams, he brings up a lot of damage and debuffs. He's a very strong champion overall. Even though he doesn't deal the most insane damage out there out of all the nukers, I feel like with the debuffs he has, the damage he deals is very, very, very good,
100%. I mean, Tornado is just one of the best abilities in the game, I really believe, especially with that extra turn, right? And then you go right, because you're placing the leech, you go right into the A1 and boom, he's an AoE nuker, right? Because it attacks everybody. So I love that call. I'm actually going to go with another epic champion. My longtime viewers might know who I'm going to go with here, but I've always had a real soft spot for Dark Elhain. Dark Elhain is... I think that because she's a free champion, a lot of people just sleep on her overall utility and value. She hits really hard with this Death Majesty ability, and these are her only 2 active abilities. She's a 3-turn AoE with an increased attack on herself, decreased speed on enemies, and she has her A1. Both her A1 and her A2 hit really hard, and she's a specialist. If anybody on her team has freeze, she's going to remove it. If she gets freeze, she's going to remove it and instantly trigger her A2. Ergo doing so much more damage. So I really love her. She's one of my favorite nukers for Ice Golem, specifically because of that freeze.
Yeah, he's a very strong champion as well. I have to agree with you on this 100%, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sounds great. And I don't know why I said remove it from allies. I just meant that it fills her turn meter. There we go. That'd be cool, though, if she removed it from all allies as well. All right, so I'm adding to her kit now. I like her so much. All right, so who's your next?
Demon Spawns, right? So on Demon Spawns, I'll have to go with Kendraphone. He's a very powerful champion. Like, he used to be like the Davy Jones of Raid. Everybody used to make fun of him. He used to be like such a big meme back in the day. I actually got him like in the first few days when he got released. I got blessed to say like this. But man, he got a buff, and since he got a buff, he's definitely the best defense option as a nuker for arena team. Force affinity, most people they're gonna go with magic against it, so he's a very powerful for defense. The most used probably for go second teams because of his amazing passive, right? Perfect Veil, increase attack, increase speed, increase crit damage, and that's on his A3, sorry, but he gets the increased turn meter and the Veil from his passive when the enemy team boosts the turn meter. So that makes him very, very powerful. Damage reduction from the Veil, extra damage from the Veil. I feel like he's super, super powerful.
I 100% agree. I don't have him. I wish I did, but you know, Butcher's Glee hits very, very hard, especially with all of his extras. And he actually has the highest multiplier on his A1 out of any champion in the game too. So very, very good champion in Kendraphone. I think that's a great choice. I'm actually going to go with one of the newer champions, Sissia Flametongue. I talked about her in your video as well, so I'll keep it brief here, but she has an extra turn. I love when we have an extra turn abilities, right, on any champion. And, you know, starting out with the HP burn for 3 turns, and then going into an extra turn, going into an AoE flame eruption is just an insane combo. It deals tons of damage. I was pleasantly surprised with how much damage Sissia Flametongue puts out when I tried her on my team. She's actually now on my main dragon team as well. So big fan of this champion.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like she can be at the top on the Nuker chain here with her damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's a very strong one here.
Let's move into Orcs. I'll go first again, and I'm going to go with one of my favorite, or I think, dare I say, my favorite nuker in the game? I think so, and that is Seer, man. I mean, who knows? You know, they're probably going to find a way to nerf her again, I feel like, because everybody uses Seer against, you know, this is our little secret here. We're not going to tell anybody about this. But Seer is very, very, very good because of Karma Burn. It's an enemy max HP ability, but it's really known for killing waves, right? You can kill and removing all those buffs. I mean, I'm sure you rely on her heavily as well, because especially in Doom Tower, all those buffs, like, they add up a lot on all those mobs. So it's nice to have Seer to remove them and then kill them.
Absolutely, she's very powerful, man. Like all around the game, like waves, she's the #1 wave killer in the entire game. She can be brutal for arena as well, guys, because she strips all the buffs from the enemy team. So when you're going against the team, they have shield, they have a Siphi there, like in low tiers in arena, bronze, silver. You have a Seer, you might want to consider in taking her for a spin in arena because she will wreck the enemy team. Great
choice, great call of the arena. Who is your choice for Orcs?
For Orcs, I'm gonna have to go with Robar, right?
Ooh, okay.
He's a bit more non-conventional, to say like this. We have pretty good epics as well here, like Zargala, she's great as well. But Robar, he has pretty badass multipliers, like paired with other champions as well. Not only his A2 that lands defense down AoE deals a ton of damage, but you have the A3 attacks all enemies, damage increases if the target is under sleep, stun or freeze debuff. If you pair him with a champion that lands
Those debuffs. Yeah.
Those debuffs, man, he's gonna deal so much damage.
Dude,
Honestly,
I have him.
He's insane.
I haven't built him out yet. I hate that he's so slow, but at the same time, I've known for a long time, as you point out, some of the highest multipliers in the game, including Merciless Assault, I believe is one of the highest overall inside the entire game. So good call there. Really interesting. I love that you went with him because I thought you were going to go Zargala. Or maybe, I guess no one has Gomlock Skyhide, but the word in the street is this guy's going to hit pretty hard too. Actually, is he gonna? He's a support champion. Actually, he's not gonna hit that.
It's not rocket science. Just say yes and we'll move on.
Skinwalkers. You can go first, man. This is a little bit of a step back from Orcs.
Yeah, so yeah, it is a bit. I'll have to go Norok here.
Oh.
No. Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
So his A2 actually hits pretty hard. AoE attack, places block buffs, debuff for 2 turns. You have 2 choices. Either you beat him for damage. He can deal pretty good damage with this. Like, out of the defense-based champions, he has one of the highest multipliers when we're talking about damage. But he has utility as well on the block buffs as well. Then, pretty good aura for dungeons if you're using him there. And he's immune to stun, freeze, sleep. So, damage reduction. I really like all this on the kit. But then, I kind of don't. You know, but if I would have to pick from this faction, he would be the one to go.
We can't take Brackus because he's not AoE. So I also struggled on this one. I thought about maybe Coronar, but I decided to go with Basher, right? Who I actually first discovered on your channel way back in the day. His A2 and his A3 both hit pretty hard. Both, well, I guess not a traditional AoE on Cause Fear, but, he's bringing some utility to the table, increased cooldown of all target skills by 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown, and he actually hits pretty hard as well. So I guess in a faction of limited choices, I feel like you can do a lot worse than Basher.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Basher is a strong champion. I like Basher, honestly.
Yeah, it's a fun champion, I think that he's unique and fun. All right, keeping the video moving, we have Lizardmen up next. Another interesting faction, and we can't include Dracomorph, who is like the best damage dealer, I would say, out of all these champions, bar none. But you can go first on this one. Who are you going to choose?
Man, it's hard. I'm gonna have to go blinded freestyle here, like between Roxam and Resin. Resin Ace3 is strong, but I'll go with Roxam. I tested him. He has very similar multipliers with Foley if he's under a veil, right? So he's not too bad. AoE, attack, defense, down, weaken. He can hit pretty decent, but not like wow, out of the ordinary, So I feel like that's why I'm like in between him and Resin with the A3 as well,
Yeah, reading this dude's this kit is like I need a bookmark here, man, for this novel. I feel
it's a long story. Like it's just giving you a headache.
What is going on here? I built him out too. I was a little I'm going to say I was a little disappointed, but that's, I'm just being very critical. I was really just disappointed because he's not going to replace anybody in my teams. I'm sure we've all been there, even if it's not for a legendary. Like you build out a champion and it takes you a moment to kind of realize that, this is not just not a huge upgrade for me, but
not gonna happen,
Yeah, Fushan. I'm gonna go Fushan here, man. Very fast champion, really, really solid multipliers. He has a 4-hitter on his A3 and an AoE, a 2-time AoE with a stun. His damage really adds up quickly. He's all about speed too. He has a speed aura, and he has an a chance of an extra hit on his A1. So Fushan's my choice.
Yeah, definitely. Fushan is a very, very powerful champion, guys. Like clan boss, dungeons, arena.
Absolutely.
He's just the right champ to go with, honestly.
All right, Ogren Tribe.
Right, you pick first, I'll pick second.
All right, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Big Indy, who's my first legendary, and how can he go wrong? Best sheer damage, I want to say, in the game. Not sheer AoE damage, not against bosses or anything like that, but decent multipliers, brings a lot to the table, and every hit's in AoE.
Yeah, I feel like he brings a lot to the table. Like, people are kind of sleeping on not considering him one of the top champions, but he's so good for crowd control. Like I don't think he's a better crowd control champion that deals damage in the entire game. I feel like he's so good, honestly.
Yeah. Who's your choice gonna be?
I'll have to go damage wise here. If you got the big gun, I'm gonna go with Ignatius. So his A3, A2 actually hit super hard. Like when Tormin came out, what I've done actually was made my Ignatius, Tormin, and Ray in the same team. Freeze, remove buffs, and
That's a good call.
HP burn from him, and then Tormin was just going on and on and on and on till the team was dead. But it was a lot of fun. He hit super hard with the A3 actually. He can properly nuke.
Has a 5.6 multiplier on defense based. Like you never see that, man. That's insane. And a 4.9 multiplier on his A2. Yeah, Ignatius was definitely up there. It was a tough call between him and Biggin, but Biggin, my first Lego, man. I gotta go with it, you know? All right, Barbarians. You're up first on this one, man. This is kind of a tough one.
It is a bit of a tough one. We cannot pick Turvor because he doesn't have AoE hits in there. He's more of a sniper than a nuker. But I'll go with one choice here that might surprise people, Valkyrie. So,
okay.
Valkyrie, she has an insane base defense, right? Now, I don't have the multipliers on her A2, honestly, but I can tell you, she can nuke. If you build her properly, you are able to give her high defense, right? And with a defense up and a defense down on the enemy team, man, some nasty things they're gonna happen there. Honestly, she hits pretty hard with the A2.
Yeah, it's only a 3 multiplier on on defense though, but because of that defense, her high defense, you're right. You stack up just an insane amount of defense. She's dealing a lot of damage, and you get the counterattack, and you get the better shield. So interesting outside the box choice there. I was tempted to go outside the box and pick Scylla Drakes because why not? She's that good, but I'm not. She's not really a nuker. So. I don't know, man. It was between Alika for me, who actually has really high multipliers, but I've never used her. I've never built her out. So I'm actually going to go with Armina, who's not a, typical nuker, I guess, but she does have a 4+ multiplier on her A2 on a 3-turn cooldown with the defense break with the turn meter steal. So I feel like, she's doing a lot. She also has a turn meter fill every stun. So she has a nice kit synergy when you pair her with, say, a Scylla Drakes or an Archmage helmet, where she's getting multiple turns, and with all those extra turns, she puts out a lot of damage. So Armina is going to be my choice.
Yeah, probably they're both good, honestly. I haven't used Armina or Alika either to be able to judge them. But
this is actually one that we could have maybe gone with, like Soulbound Bowyer or even like War Maiden or something. Who knows, for rare options, because
it wouldn't have been a bad option actually to go with them either. Yeah.
Okay, Sacred Order up next, man, and I guess I'm up first on this one.
Be my guest.
I'm gonna go with somebody that nobody watching this video thinks I would go with this person, but well. I'm clicking on Fenax. He does have an AoE. You know what?
He does.
I was gonna go Cupidus, bro, but I'm switching it last minute, man. I recently maxed Fenax, and let me tell you, dude, I was so shocked at how good this guy is. Like, I slept on him for way too long, because you look at his kit and it's like, okay, a block revive on an A1, which happens to be the second hardest hitting A1 in the game, next to Candrafon, and then A2. Like, it's not an insane ability, but it deals a decent amount of damage on a 4-turn cooldown. And then he brings the decreased defense and the decreased speed to the table for your team if you're just using him, against the final boss on an allied attack team or something like that. So I think that Fenax is going to be my choice.
Yeah, Phoenix is very strong, man. Like, so many people slept on this champion. Like, when I try him out, I actually 6-star him for the affinity, for my missions, for Arbiter, right? But I haven't used him for a while. So then I started YouTube and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me use Phoenix. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
dude,
he's such a beast.
I love Cupidus, and I think that, Abyss Well, you told me how to say it off of air. What is it?
Abyss, right?
Abyss.
Google actually told me.
I got it, like Abyss. Okay.
So I actually had to Google that,
I was going to let you take credit for it, but okay. He's like, my mom's name is Abyss. No, but she is the best nuker, though. Like, she is the best nuker. Like, in terms of sheer damage, you can't go wrong with Abyss. But,
she has double AoE hits.
Yeah, but double AoE hits, and she hits so hard with Divine Wrath. Who are you going with, by the way? I'm like taking.
Man, I'm in between Abyss and Astralon. Like, I like Astralon because having 100% chance to stun. But then if you build him only as a nuker, that stun doesn't really come in play anymore. So Abyss my 4th legendary here.
Oh,
straight after Xavier. I'll have to go with Abyss because she has so 2 AoEs. Yeah. And she has the transfer 1 random debuff, so I kinda like her. She hits very hard with the A2, guys. Good for arena, good for dungeons. A3 is a bit more different, situational on some of the teams you're attacking, but I feel like Abyss, she's a powerful champion overall. Yeah,
she is. Yeah, she's like on my entire account, and you know, my viewers can see a lot of legendaries here. She is definitely up there, like top 3 nuker on my account, I would say, in terms of just sheer damage. Maybe top 5, but she's in the conversation. All right. High Elves, man. Who are you gonna go here?
High Elves. Now, here again, I'm in between 2 nukers. Ethos.
What was that one word? I saw that one video.
And Yannicka. I will go Ethos just because he's more viable and there are 2 AoE hits in there. He's more powerful. So I'll have to give it to Ethos, honestly. But Yannicka, she's a very powerful nuker as well, especially for a spirit one. So I feel like they both deserve a bit of credit here.
No, I agree. It's a good shout out to Yannicka because, you know, I don't own her. And it's one of those champions that I still think of the old pre-buff Yannicka, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so Ethos though is who you went with. Did you go Yannicka or Ethos? Okay.
I'll go Ethos.
Okay. How can you go wrong, man? Because if you didn't, I was gonna have to. Just you know, even though I'm gonna go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's like the best, one of the best nukers in the game. I'm gonna go Royal Guard because I mean, granted, he does have the enemy max HP, but it is on an AoE, and it does scale on attack as well. And Hamstring's a great ability too. You know, it's not AoE, but 4 time at random with decreased speed and turn meter. Can't ask for much better than from an epic champion, or forget that, just a champion overall. He's also my most used champion, Skratch, according to the Raid Shadow Legends video.
He was on my most favorite, on my favorite 4 there, yeah.
Who is your number 1 most used?
Draco.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Nah.
All right. So Ethos and Royal Guard there. Yeah, I think that's a really solid 2. And then we'll only have 1 left, man. Bannerlords. Who you got?
Bannerlords, yeah. Well, I have Baron here, honestly, just for his secret skill. Yeah.
I like it for the secret skill.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, we don't have many options here, honestly. I won't lie. So we might even have to agree on this one. But
right,
I still feel like he needs a buff Baron to be a bit more viable, but not in terms of damage for this. His secret skill hits pretty hard, right? But we need somehow to make use of that secret skill more often, you know.
100%. And it is noteworthy that Trample as A1 hits so hard on the surplus damage, you know? So I agree with you, man. There's a lot of potential with Baron. I use Baron a lot in Doom Tower just for like speed farming, you know, earlier waves. I guess I'm going to go, you know, it's hard to, I'm going to go Septimus. Does he count or no? Does he not count?
Well, we don't have many options here, so we can make him count because of the A1. If he kills with the A1, he's gonna kill all the rest of them. So let's just say he can do it, you know.
There's no AoE, so I can't count him. So I guess if I was gonna go other than Baron, who is the obvious choice here, I guess I would go, man, there's not that many options, are there? Archmage Helmet actually deals,
I was gonna say, yeah.
He actually deals a lot of damage, man. I was surprised, not just how good he is, he's bringing so much to the table with increased crit rate, speed, and crit damage, but also he's dealing a lot of damage on this AoE plus the stun, and his A1 hits hard too. So Archmage Helmet is one of my favorite epic champions, quickly becoming one of my favorite champions in the game. And I guess that's where I'll end it, man. That's gonna be my choice.
Yeah, I can agree with you more, man. Like, there are not many other options, but definitely Archmage. I only built him for damage, just for my fun, but I was well impressed with him, honestly.
Absolutely, man. Well, that concludes our list of our favorite nukers in every single faction. Skratch AK47. Thanks so much for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Ash. Thanks for having me. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video.
All right, no problem, man. Hey, perfect time, by the way, to go ahead and check out the Skratch video that we just did. Again, the link will be in the show notes below. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.